Hello, courageous and delightful students. I think I just made a new word. I think I was saying creative and courageous at the same time. Courageous is a kind of a crunchy word. Probably you shouldn't use it in your writing, though. Not sure it'll show up in the spell check. Hey, how are you guys doing? We're at Module 4, so things are about to start changing up a little bit because with this, we finish all 8 of the sources you need for your final project. You have a lot of your keywords put together. We're going to work with your keywords on this one. Also, your annotations are getting bigger. Once you go through Module 5, which is next, we're going to talk about evaluation, 3 different types of evaluation, and you can use those evaluation points to build up your summaries so that you elude plagiarism and yet produce substantive summaries. It's beautiful, but I'm sorry, Module 4. What is Module 4 about? I'm going to take out the video that's there, but I want to come down and focus on a piece that will still be there when you look at it. This is one of my favorite slides that I share when I do webinars and orientations. Let me assure you, these are the 3 things that I use most every single day that helps me do magnificent and wonderful work. When I see a student or a faculty member come to me with some sort of research jam, usually one of these 3, besides picking the right database, one of these 3 will do the trick. First, we're going to be talking about truncation, and you're going to model it. Let me tell you, last semester, I failed in explaining truncation specifically, so I hope this semester goes better. But you put the asterisk at where the common word ends. Suppose we want to find all these words in our search. We're going to take it back to the common place. All these places change with the S. So NUR asterisk, I think that's over your 8, equals all of these things when you do your research. There's a whole section on it. I'm going to show you another video just in case mine is not good enough. Phrase searching. A lot of you already have phrases in your keywords. For this, pull 3 of them back in and you're going to pick quotes around them. It's very important with your phrase searching that they actually make sense. I had somebody who was doing a global warming one and they put in quotes, getting hotter. Cute, but not effective. Make sure it's a real actual phrase that's used in your discipline or the topic you're researching in. Boolean searching. You've probably seen this before. I always call this a Venn diagram, which may or may not have some meaning, but is a Venn diagram. And when you use the word and between words, you find out where they overlap. You use or, you're creating a string of synonyms. You say not, you're taking something out of that search that is absolutely not working for you. These are what this particular module is about and in great detail. Hopefully, in the past couple of weeks, you've gotten the idea. Wow, these keywords, they must be important. Why is she hammering away at these keywords? Because they are the key to the absolute castle. If you're not using the right keywords, and sometimes it takes a while. One of you is working on something in the future. Sometimes those are hard. Like, how do we search the future or things that talk about the future? And there's different ways. And we may have to work at that as time goes on because it's not easy. I start writing things down as I go, and I have examples here for you. You can these some brainstorm things. I want you to go through it and think about it in terms of your topic. I have number 1, find antonyms and synonyms, identify key terms in the research question, brainstorm acronyms. This is really important. Suppose you are searching Obamacare. First of all, Obamacare is sort of a slang term. The underneath part is the Affordable Care Act, but you know it's also called the ACA. So when you're doing your searching, you could actually do Affordable Care Act or ACA or Obamacare if you want to use Boolean logic, but make sure you search the acronym and how the acronym is spelled out. This is very, very important. On each one of these, I'm going to have pieces down here and how I've built them out, because I want you to understand keyword identification as an ongoing process. If you can't read some of these, kind of right-click them and bring them out to look at the image in the new tab, and that should take care of that. Here, I'm talking about how you can find other keywords by using the articles that you have found. This is an example from Academic Search Premier, but ProQuest also has a similar thing. So please make sure you go through those pieces. Phrase searching, of course, is when you find things that are natural, that are real, not forced, not random, and put them in quotes. This makes sure when you do the search, you do them together. Very important concept. Go through my examples. You'll see what they are and what they do. Now, truncation is the part where I really lost. For the first time ever, I've taught this class for several years. I lost my students last semester on truncation. It's one of the best things you can learn how to do, the one that's fantastic, and to some degree, the easiest, but it may not. I put in a video. It's done by a very nice English gentleman. Go through it. But down here, I made sure that I showed you truncation is in green. Examples of how I could truncate these items to get different things like environment. If I went here, I could get environment, environmental. Sustain, if I stopped here, sustain, sustained, sustainabilities. So make sure the asterisk appears at the part where the suffix begins, and hopefully after you see the video, you will say, yes, I totally understand that. And I see how it could work brilliantly. And it does. It even works in Google. I have a Boolean logic demonstration. I found a nice video for you. I also did these examples. So notice I'm using my same set of keywords for each one of these pages, but I'm changing them. So phrase searching is going to be yellow, truncation examples are going to be green, and Boolean logics are going to be blue. So you can see here, I've taken my essential list of keywords and I've improved them and worked with them harder. So when I go into ProQuest or PubMed or Academic Search Complete or wherever I'm at, I'm going to go in with some powerful words to get to where I want to go, because I don't want 10,000 articles. I would love to have 20 awesome ones, and this is one of the ways to get to those. And you're going to do a model strategy piece. That should be quick, and I hope you pass it. I think you have 2 chances there. I want to also talk to you about citation searching and bibliographic mining. This is a really key concept, especially as you move along. Like, what happens when you find one good article? How can you use that article to find others? Of course, we already know we could find the subjects, but we could also find out who cited it. We can also look at the references. So there's a lot of ways we could do this search. Make sure you go in and see this Google Scholar piece. I'm actually not touching it on here, but there's some things in it that might help you out, including it has some APA pieces in there that you might have to look for to kind of build up your APA skills. It actually has most of the items. When I do research, sometimes forget something, or I will sort of abbreviate it in a way that makes sense to me at the moment. And then when I go to do my paper, it no longer makes sense. So this has a lot of little key things in it. It's very fast. I've built this Google link for you for your success. And you may not be as thankful in this class, but when you get in the sciences and some of the other classes or nursing, you will be very thankful that this piece is here. I'm going to go on next. And at this point, I hope I've taught you how to use Google 3 different ways you've never used it before. Here, we're going to go through Google Advanced again. I want you to find a .org or .edu in this cycle. And in the next page, I'm going to show you how to find a magazine article in opposing viewpoints. So make sure you review these, as they are key to your work this week. This is an example of what you're doing. I want you to really look at your thesis question, as always. Now you're going to bring in some of your keywords. Bring in 9 of them, 3 each. Find some that would be appropriate for truncation. It needs to have meaning, like health. Like, you don't want to do cat with an asterisk and have catapult. Makes no sense. But these do have meaning. When you type them out, I want you to demonstrate where the asterisk would allow the rest of the word, the suffixes, to appear. I think this makes sense. Phrase searching should totally make sense. Make sure you put them in quotation marks to show that you understand the process. And there's this. Please make sure you put the A-N-D, O-R, or N-O-T in capitals, and because usually that will trigger the search, specifically in something like ProQuest. but it also helps me see that you understand the concept. You do not have to do monster ones like this, but if you feel inclined to do so, I will be certainly glad to see it. Then you will find your article. You're going to make your reference. For the article, it's inside of opposing viewpoints. And one of the big rules is if another person can't get to it for free, don't use the URL. If that's all you have, and a magazine article should only have a URL. That hurts, and sometimes your professor or instructor will ask you to do otherwise so they can check your work. But if I cannot check your work without a URL, I am not a good, sound, awesome, motivated librarian. And then you will find a .org or .edu, and you will use that. It actually, this reference is very easy. You should feel very happy with it, and you will be moving up to 100 words for your summary, and that will be that. On the next page, this is where you will of course submit your work, but I've taken the time to go through and explain things in detail yet again, tell you how to set up your paper, what to title it, what should be on it, the organization in the magazine article, and I put the 2 videos here to support your work, and I put endless links that should hopefully cover everything you run into. I don't know if you guys do know this, but you can actually send your work in advance to me and ask me a question like, is this a .org? Is this the right reference style I should be using for this APA style piece? And I would be glad to answer. So anyway, I hope I'm under 12 minutes here, thankfully. I apologize that took a long time, but I enjoyed this chapter immensely. And I hope you do too. Like I really do. If you need any help, reach out to me. Mondays is Zoom night, 6 to 8. No one came in tonight, and I would have loved to have seen you. Thank you for everything you're doing. I love reading all your work. You're very engaging and awesome. I know this is a rough time, but I think still good things can come out of all of this and our lives. So let's keep it rolling. Have a good day.